Alright, in this video, the Skidoo is going to get a new battery because the original equipment lead acid one stopped working. And what I'm going to replace it with is lithium ion. There are a number of different versions of lithium ion batteries out there. I bought this one because it was a decent price. I don't know how often it goes on sale, but bought that for about $150, where your typical lithium ion batteries are really closer to $300 for a snowmobile application. The lead acid battery it replaces is significantly heavier. My garage scale actually wouldn't go up as high, but I estimate this one's 3 times heavier than the lithium ion, which comes out about 1,900 grams, which is about 4.2 pounds. But just remarkably lighter. Now it is also smaller, so under some applications you may have to use some foam or similar to take up extra space, but I think this one will mount up just fine because its width is exactly the same. Now the other thing this one has is it has an ability to start it up or maintain some voltage even if it's been drained, and it has this little lead on it that you can use to turn it back on so it won't drain down to zero. The other real benefit to lithium ion batteries is they don't necessarily need to be fully charged to maintain battery health. Your lead acid batteries, they don't like to be, part way charged in general, and that can be kind of hard on them. So lithium ion batteries can be stored at partial charge. Some people say even better on the battery. I'm not totally sure about that, but maybe. But for sure, a little bit more flexible in terms of how you store them. In addition, they can last quite a bit longer. So to get that connector in there, all you do is kind of come in the side here. There's a little opening for that wire to exit, one on each side, and then you just kind of come in here and pry that up, and then that whole cover comes off. And then you can see where that adapter plugs into there, and you can wire it out either side. And I like the flexibility of this battery because you have connections on both sides. So clearly this battery is designed to work in a number of different applications. But we'll get it on there and I'll show you what it's like. Alright, so I removed the original equipment with an 8mm bolt up top here, and then 10mm bolts that held the positive and negative terminals to the battery. Now, one thing to kind of keep in mind when you're going to reattach those, just go ahead and clean those off. You can see there's a bit of corrosion on there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you'd like it all to be kind of bright and shiny. So something as simple as just a wire brush will usually do the trick on there to get that nice and shiny again. And then we'll get that mounted in. Alright, so now I got those connectors on the wires all cleaned up and ready to go on the terminals. And you can see I have different hardware here depending upon application. Mine will use these ones, which are close to really what the original equipment uses. Now the other kind of neat thing about having 4 terminals on here is you can actually hook your accessories up to one part and your primary leads to the other ones, so they don't get too cluttered. But that is an option. In any case, I'll get all of that connected first, and then I'll mount the battery down because it just makes it a little easier. It might be a little overkill, but I actually like to put a little dielectric grease on those terminals too, just to prevent corrosion, moisture, etc. Alright, just a little tip I use to make life a little easier. So it can be kind of hard to get that bolt engaged in that square nut underneath the terminal. And I find that actually using a small flathead like that to kind of hold it tight up against the top and then getting those threads engaged, I find that to be easy. Alright, so here the battery is installed and a few zip ties just hold wires in place. I think it came through pretty clean. Now, it does have instructions like that and a little manual, and indicates that the battery itself actually won't turn on, as evidenced by that, until you press and hold this button here for 3 seconds. And that's, again, how it sort of preserves a little bit of charge, just in case there is a constant draw on the battery where it would normally be completely dead. It saves a little bit. So kind of press and hold here. Then you can see that. Now we got a really good voltage. pretty impressed with it. It was a decent price. Now the regular price is much closer to $300, but keep an eye out for sales. This one I got for about $150, so pretty great.